Hey everyone, gonna do some figure drawing today. Working on a slightly bigger setup than last time, which is quite nice because usually I'm working on A4. And we're gonna use some Nitram charcoal. I think this is the HB, and this is Strathmore charcoal series 300 paper. I'm almost certain the front cover of it is ripped off, so I'm not exactly sure. But it's kind of like Ongar paper or Ingress or however you like to say it. So let's get started. As usual, just going to start with the gesture line, trying to find my way around the figure. I need something to work off on the page. I always need some warm-up drawings. Just going to start off with some 2-minute figure poses. I'm a bit sick today, so I won't be talking as much as I usually do. But hopefully you guys can just hear the scratchy noises of the pencil, and that'll keep you entertained. Whenever I'm lost, kind of losing, trying to find the arm or whatever, I just try to draw a gesture line. Same with, when starting off the figure. Just the line of movement is like a super powerful tool to help you find things. You see the rib cage quite well here, which is nice to work with. Good marker shape. I think for the rest of these drawings I'm going to need to speed up a little bit if I'm going to get something done in 2 minutes. But this is why we do the warm-ups. Keep yourself going. I'm always going to try to let my pencil just kind of fly around the page. Don't want to be too accurate here. It's not a finished drawing. Alright, on to the next pose. Got a bit of drapery to work with. Shoulders are slightly hanging down this way. Left shoulder, her left shoulder is a little bit higher. Hips are fairly neutral. Maybe just a little pinched. I'll exaggerate that a bit. In case you're wondering what tool I'm using here or like program I'm using to find all my images, it's the one on Croaky Cafe. The website, it's a subscription based service, but it's only like 30 quid a year. So very useful. They release actually new videos and new photo sets like every week. Very good for reference material. It's actually kind of a difficult pose to work with, this one. Mostly because I feel like I'm not seeing loads to work with. It's more like something you might need to study for a while. Hard to get something down in a few minutes. Something interesting down in just 2 minutes. Anyway. I think this is one where you kind of use the knowledge, the back anatomy to make it a little bit more interesting. Okay, next pose. This one has a lot of gesture and movement to it. It's nice to work with. Again, I was just going to work with shapes and line to figure out where I'm going. It's actually been a while since I worked in a bigger format. I can feel my shoulder already starting to hurt me. That also might be the way I'm sitting. very nice light on this photo to work with. It's showing us a lot. If I had a few more minutes, this would be a nice one to study. But it's good to start a folder of, reference images you've used for sketching, or just your own reference images you can pull back on anytime. If you want to study them a bit more, something catches you about them, maybe even the pose you can use for a picture you want to take another time and work with. Alright, I think we'll change over to another page before we continue. There we go. A good pose, but I think a very difficult pose to draw here. So I think it's going to fall off my page wherever I'm drawing. Going to use a lot of negative space to work here, I think. Nice thing about the Nitram charcoal is that you don't have to go around sharpening it all the time. You can use a bit of sandpaper to get a nice point, but you're always going to have a little bit to work with. Probably not going to get all the information of this pose down in 2 minutes. That's okay. I think overall we're doing an okay job of getting everything in. Alright, next pose. I think I'll already need to go into another page after this because of the way I drew that one. We're actually looking very from underneath here. Interesting pose to work with. But nice light overall. Actually very good perspective on the legs and whatnot to work with. Very cool. I think a lot of reference images you get are very straight on, but it's always interesting to get something with a different angle on it. Can make you think next time you gotta take your own. Try to get a bit more shadow and shape design in here. Only have 30 seconds left, I think. Really nice form of the leg muscles to see as well. This could be a good study. I think what's nice about doing these quick poses, you kind of see what images work for you to study from as well. Quicker than just trying to scour through and just trying to think whether or not it works. Just spend a minute or two on it, see how it feels. Maybe we'll just try to do this one up here. And I'll do like one more, maybe 5-minute pose. Always got to get some figure drawing in anyway. Good for the brain. Get you more confident in your mark making as well. Well, let me just stretch my shoulder a bit there. There we go. Sure, we've all got that in life drawing class when you're standing up at your easel. Your shoulder absolutely kills you at the end of the day. Just think how it feels for a model when they have to hold a pose for so long. I don't mind the pose of this, but the lighting is kind of maybe difficult to work with. Doesn't make it impossible though. I was a bit messy with this drawing. I can kind of see where my pose is, but I've definitely scoured over a lot of my lines. Didn't really pick my drawing utensil up a lot there, which is okay sometimes. Alright, stop it there for a second and I will change page and change these to 5-minute drawings. Okay, we'll work on this one here and I'll try use just the middle of the page here. Something a little bit bigger as well. Even though I know I have 5 minutes, I still want to go in with the same energy I usually do with the 2-minute ones. Going down because coming towards us. Yeah. If you're ever ensuring a reference image, like especially here, you can clearly see that it's kind of hard to tell whether one shoulder's down or not. Just remember if you were sitting there, in front of the person trying to draw them, because that shoulder's coming kind of like a bit forward towards us, that's usually going to be the one that's a bit higher. Just in this perspective specifically. The direction of the head's actually quite nice in this drawing. You got this nice squish of the neck into the collarbone. Kind of difficult to draw, but that's okay. Difficult can be good sometimes. Makes you learn. Like right now I can tell I drew that maybe a bit too long, but let's continue with the rest of the figure before I start fixing things. I should try at least get the whole thing in this few minutes that I have. Just a nice squish of the stomach as well here. Always adds nice shapes to work with. I think I drew this space a bit too big. That's okay. Really nice, different forms overlapping each other in this one as well. Which is, if you're doing like a nice, a proper figure drawing that you take your time with, you can start kind of designing your values around that too. You can start using a lot of soft and hard edges to make those pop a bit more. I've lost a lot of sharpness on this piece of charcoal, but we'll work with it still. Let's try getting a little bit of shading maybe before the 5 minutes is up. We're nearly done with this pose. Yeah, about 30 seconds left. Quite a nice pose to work with. This will be one that I add for my longer drawings someday. Just again, nice like overlapping forms and perspective here. Alright, we'll call it there.